I still remember the night one of my students passed away. She was only 11 years old. She was so inquisitive, the kind of kid that asked a lot of questions and made adults stop and think of how to answer back. Wise beyond her years, gentle with a big heart. And that night she came to me in a dream. Everyone around her in the dream was crying, and she was so confused. And she turned to me and she said, "Why is everyone crying? I don't understand." And I woke up feeling peaceful, and I'm like, okay, that was an interesting dream. But that's the day I found out that she had died. And deep down, I had a feeling like she came to say goodbye in the most innocent and childlike way possible. And she just wanted to remind me that she was okay. You've probably had a moment like that. A scent, a song, a flicker, and thought of somebody who's passed. That's not a coincidence, boo. That is your connection. Hi, boo. It's me, your medium bestie, the Deathberry, certified death doula, and your spirit guide to the other side. Ding! I'm here to help you make peace with the dead so you can live more fully with the living. And today we're talking about 10 ways that your loved ones try to reach you. And don't worry, boo, no spooky hauntings or horror vibes today. Just a little bit of magic, grounded love, and a little spooky sass. Because communication with spirit isn't rare or spooky, it's so natural. You don't need a special title like medium to connect. You were born with this ability. It's in your energy already. You have a spirit. They are a spirit without a body. So spirit connects to spirit. It's so easy. So why does it feel so hard? It's because we've been taught that it's hard to connect, or it's bad to connect, or it's dangerous to connect. So I'm trying to rewire those teachings that you've had, that I had to rewire within myself, and help you connect naturally. Spirit doesn't use Wi-Fi, it uses energy to connect. And the more present and grounded you are, the easier it is. Death isn't disappearance, it's transformation. And when someone dies, the relationship changes form, but it doesn't end. Think of it as learning a new language of love, science, and synchronicities. So remember, boo, you're not haunted, you are loved. Sign number 1, dreams feel more real than normal. These spirit dreams that you have are more clear, vivid, and very peaceful. It's like you met them. You feel them through the dream. And then you wake up with that afterglow of their memories still being alive. It's like they were right next to you, because they really were. My student came to me that way, and I felt like I was talking to her one-on-one. I also had a different dream where my work colleague's mother died. And in that dream, my work colleague called me to say, "Hey, I have bad news. My mother just died." And I was so heartbroken in the dream to find this out through her. And then when I wake up, I actually got the phone call. Now, something like that is heartbreaking, right? You don't want to hear when somebody passes in a dream. But there's a way that this happens in your dreams so that when something happens in real life, it's not as shocking. I had this other dream where my grandfather, who is in spirits, came to me because something big happened in the family, something really traumatic. And the day before I found out this thing happened, my grandpa showed up in his full healthy form. When he died, he was quadriplegic, and he was in a wheelchair, couldn't speak, couldn't move. In the dream, he was moving. He was tall and strong and healthy, and all he did was smile at me and hug me, and it felt so real. And I just felt his love and protection. And then I woke up to this traumatic thing that happened, and I realized my grandpa came to say, "Hey, something's gonna go down, but I got you. Stay with me here." He was supporting me from the spirit world, and I'm so grateful for that. When we sleep, our energy rises, so it gets closer to that of spirit's energy. And spirit lowers, and we meet halfway. That's why it is so easier. It's the easiest way to connect to spirit is through dreams. And when they come through, that's a real visitation. Please take that. Please hold that. It's so special. Here's a little affirmation you can tell yourself. When I meet my spirit loved one in my dream, they are meeting me halfway. Kind of empowers you a little. It's like, oh, I made it halfway, they made it halfway, we met. Sign number 2, sensing their presence in a room. This is a common one, and I'm sure you've had it. Your little hairs in your arms stand up, you get the goosebumps, you get the shiver. sometimes the air just shifts and a calm can come over you. And I really feel spirit loved ones come in like a huge hug, really protective, so much love, so much strength. When I see spirit loved ones, I see them from behind me, and it's like they're kind of putting their arms around me like this and just giving me a little cuddle. And it really is what they're doing. They are using their energy to just coat us with energy, warmth, and love. And just feeling that, you know they're near. You don't need physical proof. You just sense their presence, and the proof is in the presence. And this is how I felt my grandfather in the dream, just all this protective warmth and love. And this is how you can feel your loved ones too. Let's say you're just like doing your own thing, you're cooking or whatever, and then suddenly you have this like flood of love. Or most commonly, when you're crying and you're just on the floor and you're just asking for a sign from your spirit loved one, they'll give it to you with just being there. I see them a lot too, visiting us while we sleep. They'll sit over the bed. They'll be like, "Are you okay?" You know, they'll kind of look over us. Their warmth feels like a sunlight in the room, like, ah. Here's an affirmation you can take. I trust the unseen hugs that find me. Sign number 3, smelling their scent out of nowhere. Let's say you're folding laundry or whatever, or just going about doing some little errand, and suddenly you smell something very distinct. I get this a lot in my house. I will always smell roses. So let's say you're just doing something around your house and then suddenly you smell like roses. I get that a lot. Or cigarettes. Cigarettes is a big one, especially if your loved one is very used to smoke a lot, or they smelled like smoke, you know, that will come in. Their cologne, their scent, their perfume, all of these, the cream they used to wear, those scents are very distinct. And you just know, oh, that's so-and-so. That's my grandpa. That's my auntie. So trust that when they come in. And generally speaking, just like to be generic, usually it's like a flower scent. Roses, lavender, these things are very common. So trust those scents. Here's an affirmation you can use. Love leaves its fragrance wherever it travels. Sign number 4, hearing their voice or familiar phrases. Spirit speaks through songs, lyrics, and sometimes you can just hear their whispers or their words, and it comes through in your awareness. It doesn't always have to be this audible, like, it's me, I'm talking to you, like voice from God kind of energy. It usually is like you just get words in your head. What if the song just pops up in your head? Out of nowhere, the lyrics, so random. And it's speaking to you. You feel like, oh, this is exactly what I needed to hear. Or why am I thinking about this? Something about these words are talking to me. And they usually are. Trust yourself. Trust yourself when those words pop in, because that is Spirit's direct message to you. We communicate through ESP. We don't realize we do that. That's why when somebody's about to call, you know who it is. Sorry, I'm dating myself. Now we have a phone that shows everyone's information. But back when, the 90s, when we didn't have that, or only some special places had that, you didn't know who was going to call, but you always kind of had an idea. Oh, that's my friend. That's my mom. Whatever, right? We as humans, because we can communicate with our energy together, it's like that ESP, that's the unspoken communication. So when these hunches, when these words pop into your head, trust that. When the radio just magically plays a lyric to you, trust that. There's this one time, my son, the one who's being really noisy right now, he was super sick as a baby with a high fever. So I was like, oh shit, gotta take him to the doctor right now. Put him in the car, drove quickly to the ER. And as I'm driving, I'm all panicking. And the radio, the lyrics that come on is, oh, we're halfway there. It's the Bon Jovi song, Living on a Prayer. And I thought it was so funny. And then the song after that was, God, what was it? It was another song that was like adding to the drama of like getting there on time. And it was just so funny. My 20-minute drive to the ER was just filled with Spirit's lyrics. And I thought it was so hilarious. And I'm just like, okay, Spirit, I see you. Thank you for calming me down. That's how it works. And when you get these hunches, these words, these lyrics, respond to them. You can respond to them vocally, like out loud, or just with your ESP. Think about it. Like, I hear you, I see you, I feel you. Tell yourself this affirmation. the language of spirit is felt and heard, or the language of spirit is felt through hearing. Let's workshop those words. Sign number 5, flickering lights or electricity going haywire. Spirit works through energy, and guess what? So does electricity. Energy is everywhere. Especially nowadays. Our phones are electric, our lights are electric, the TVs, everything electric. So guess what can happen when spirit is very strong? Things act up. Recently, one of my grandfather figures passed away, and I didn't know. We kind of had a feeling he might pass, but it was so sudden, and it always hits so sudden. And before I got the phone call that he died, my TV downstairs turned on. I was home alone, upstairs with my newborn, feeling like, because newborns, they got you all crazy and you don't sleep and stuff. So I was feeling like all tired and sluggish, and suddenly the TV turns on crazy loud. And I'm like, what the heck? So I had to muster up the strength to go downstairs and turn it off. And then that's when I got a phone call from my grandma. She's like, he passed. And I'm like, dang, that's why the TV went on. And I had a feeling too. I'm like, okay, this is really random. The TV's coming on. No one's here. What spirit wants to communicate right now? And it was him. So trust that. The lights will flicker. The TV, the electronics, the internet will glitch. The Wi-Fi, when the Wi-Fi gets super wonky, just out of nowhere, trust it. It's a sign. It's spirit being around you. Here's a cute little affirmation you can use. The light still reaches me from the other side. Ooh. Okay, these are really off the cuff. If you can find some words that resonate with you deeper, use them. These are just fun though. Feel free to use these too. I would be very honored. Sign number 6, you hear spirit's words. Now this is really similar to what we just talked about, and I should have separated it a little stronger, but that's okay. Here we are. When I say spirit's words, this is literally them talking to you. And this is what happened to me when I was a little girl in England. I was 5-ish, home alone because my mom literally stepped out real fast to go to the laundromat. Back then it wasn't as big of a deal. Be like, okay, I'll be right back. Just don't do anything crazy. So what do? Eat a lollipop, start jumping on the sofa. The one thing my mom always told me not to do, don't jump on the sofa with a lollipop in your mouth, or don't run around the room with a lollipop in your mouth. So being a rebellious child, I did it, and I started choking because the freaking lollipop, I chomped on it and it got stuck in my throat. That being said, I heard spirit's voice. Boom. Run to the bathroom and run your stomach against the bathtub. And that's exactly what I did. Did not question it. I was like, okay, I gotta do this because I really thought I was gonna die. And there was another time when I was at a sleepover. It was around, it must have been 20, something like that. I was sleeping over at a friend's house, and I instantly felt that house was haunted. The doors would open and shut while we were trying to sleep, and I could hear the voice of a little girl giggling. And she would be like, and this would be at 3 a.m. And I was like, okay, it's a cute little kid ghost in here. And later when I woke up, I told my friend, I was like, hey, I think your house is kind of haunted. I heard a little girl's voice, and the door kept opening and closing. And she's like, oh yeah, my mom says it's haunted too. So there you go. Trust it. Trust on the voices. Not everyone can hear voices all the time, but to those special ones of you that can, that's a cool gift. Embrace it. It's really awesome. Here's a little affirmation you can take. Spirit speaks to lift me up and support me. Okay, so that one, I couldn't get to sound as cute as the other ones. That's okay. Number 7, you see a lot of animals, or animals act in unexpected ways. I'm going to combine this one here because there's 2 things. 1, you see a certain animal all the time. Maybe you always see a crow. That's me. A fox, a squirrel. Squirrels are quite common. But that being said, or you always see a dragonfly, a hummingbird. Hummingbirds are big, right? Those little things are so fast. So when you see one, you're just like, oh, I saw it. I saw a hummingbird. That being said, really trust in that animal. When you see it more than a few times, it's not a coincidence anymore. So that hummingbird, or for me, in my case, that crow is coming through to tell you something. When I lived in Tokyo and I lived in Shinjuku, I would walk from Shinjuku, go through Meiji Forest to get to Harajuku or Shibuya. And it was like kind of like 30-minute walk, I think, 30 to an hour. I can't remember anymore. And every time I would walk through the forest, I would always see the crows, and it made me so happy. They're so cute, and they're just like, caw, caw. You know, they're so smart. They're so loud. It's so vibrant. And I just love crows. And Tokyo people hate crows because crows go through the garbage and make a mess, and they're kind of seen as like the rats of the city. But I love them so much, and I had so much empathy for them, and I'm like, why? Why do people hate you so much? So I would just sit there in the forest, like leaning against a tree or something, and talk to them and just kind of have conversations with crows. One day, this man stopped me. He's like, oh, can I draw you? And I'm just like, sure. It was so random and kind of creepy. Like, at the time, I was kind of taken aback because Japanese people are not that forward. But I feel like this person living in Tokyo was a little more forward. And he's like, oh, can I draw you? You know, you seem so, I forgot the word he used, like majestic or something. And I was like, oh yeah, I forget. I'm a big, foreign person in Japan. So he drew me. He sketched me. And when he sketched me, he sketched all the crows around me. And I was like, oh, I love this. So I said, thank you. He gave me the drawing and I left. And I just think of that moment with crows. And now thinking of how crows are and how they followed me to America and how they have morphed from just friendly creatures into more of a goddess-like figure for me. That is something I really take to my heart. Now I really connect the crows to the Morgan, which is a goddess energy that I work with very strongly. And I feel so grateful for that. But now recently, right, I see the crows still, but now I'm really being connected to the lion and to like Sekhmet energy. So if you want more classes on goddesses, let me know because I got you. I got you on goddesses. I am the goddess guru. Segue. I digress. So you can see animals repetitively, or you can have animals come to you to bring messages. Like hummingbirds equal spirit messengers, just like ladybugs equal luck, or things of that sort. And you can also see your animals acting a fool or acting up. You'll see the cat like staring at the wall. Or for me, when I had a doggy, he would just bark at the wall for no reason. Be like, what the heck? That was my dad's house. And that was a super haunted house. I correct myself. That is a super haunted house still, because my dad collects a lot of antiques and some of them got some funky energy. So yeah, my little dog Coco, he would go crazy in that house, but he was so protective. And guess what Coco did? He visited me in my dreams a few years ago to protect me, to warn me against somebody. Somebody popped into my dreams and Coco came up and was like, woof, stay away from her. And was telling me in the dream, like, yeah, don't mess with this person. This person has no good. So I always think of Coco. Oh, Coco still got my back. Thanks, Coco. I love Coco. So listen to those animal signs. They are really important. They are very special. And yes, our animal loved ones in spirit are just like loved ones in spirit. And you can talk to them and they can communicate with you and they can visit you in dreams just like anyone else. They're just another energy, right? They are your baby, no matter what. So trust that. Here's a little affirmation you can take with you. I honor my animal messenger that goes between worlds. Gotta workshop that one too. I'm not very good at these affirmations, but you get the gist of it. Take the sign and make it a mantra. Make it a prayer. Make it powerful. Sign number 8, repeating numbers. Oh my God. The amount of times we have to talk about this. 1111, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 8, 8. It's the Lionsgate portal. It's the 555. It's angel numbers. Bleh. All of the above. Now, I warn you on this. Do not look up what 111 means. Don't look up what does this angel number mean, because guess what? You are going to get somebody else's message for that. And that's not as authentic and helpful as when you see that repetitive sign. Think about, what are you doing in that moment? What are you thinking in that moment? What has been going on in your head during that time? What has been going on in your life during that time? Then it makes more sense. See the repetitive numbers as little ways that your spirit loved ones are trying to get your attention. If you see it when you're stressed, and you see it again when you're stressed, and you see it again when you're stressed, it's like, oh, That's spirit saying, I'm not alone. Take that. Don't take what other people's BS stuff is. Numerology, where each number has an energetic symbol, that's different than this is what 1111 means. No, everyone has a sign for what 1111 means. You can get out your own dictionary and literally write all the repetitive numbers that come up and assign them meanings for you. That will be so much more helpful than Googling something or ChatGPTing it. I got you, boo. I digress. I was going on and on and on. But yes, please make these symbolic and important for you. Here's an affirmation you can take. Repetition is just a reminder, a loving reminder from spirit. Number 9, you find these little spirit signs all over. Coins, pennies from heaven, feathers, so common. I'm going to add in things like ladybugs and what are they called? Dragonflies, butterflies, and they're different. Animal messengers are kind of more unique. When you see a symbol, often repetitively, very similar to what the number thing was, that's also spirit trying to get your attention. And again, these symbols have their own meaning. So don't just look up what does a penny mean? No, a penny is just a way that spirit's trying to get your attention. And this is what happens. Spirit's speaking all the time. But we're in the future, in the past, thinking about, we're hungry. We're thinking about something we just watched. We're freaking scrolling on our phones. We are not grounded. So we're not grounded. We are missing all the signs. And when we finally ground and start noticing the repetition of things, and we're just like, oh, that's interesting. That's a coincidence. That's a synchronicity. No, it's spirit trying to smack some awareness into you. It's like, hey, I'm right here. Notice me. So they're constantly giving us signs and symbols, and we're just not seeing them. Here's an affirmation you can use. Synchronicity is spirit's way of saying hi. Number 10, and there's more, but I got the top 10. Number 10. Dang, that hurt. Knowing something before it happens. Your freaking deja vu / premonition mind strong. And this kind of ties into what ESP is. So because we can pick up on spirit and people's energies all the time, we use that to get a picture before something happens. You see what I mean? So we are picking up that, let's say, oh no, my friend's not doing well. She just pops up into her head. So we text her and she's like, oh my God, this happened to me. And you're just like, oh man, well, you just suddenly popped into my head. And so you send that love. So that is what ESP is all about. You're just picking up on their energy. Maybe they're thinking of you and you're thinking of them at the same time, and it just syncs. So knowing something before it happens, that is powerful. And that is all you. So take credit in that. You are sensitive enough to pick up on the energy and use it to your advantage. Your own fortune teller in a sense. So in a way, my dreams are helping my premonitions. Like when my coworker called me in my dream to tell me her mom died, and I wake up and it really happens. Or when my grandfather came to me in a dream to just hug me out of nowhere, and then something tragic happens. I get a lot of these premonitions actually, like when something happens or something just pops into your head and then it actually happens. Or I had one recently where I was going to bring the first aid kit. I don't know why. I never bring a first aid kit, but I was like, I better bring it. And I didn't, because I'm like, what's going to happen? So of course, the first thing that happens is we get out of our car and one of the kids falls, scrapes up their knee. And I was like, damn it, should have brought that first aid kit. It would have saved me so much grief. Things like that. Trust those premonitions. They are spirits, kind of like messages that you're just getting. Different than hearing words. These are more like warnings, like, hey, maybe you want to do this. Just in case. Here's an affirmation that you can take. Spirit warns in love, not fear. Just remember that. Spirit's going to speak to you out of love. Always. Like a gentle nudge. Like, maybe do this. Maybe do that. Why don't you bring the first aid kit? Maybe don't take this left turn. Maybe stay home today. Things like that. That's Spirit's way of speaking to you. Not like, oh my God, be careful, don't do this. That's different. Spirit's not going to speak out of fear. They speak out of suggestions and love. So what do you do when you notice one of these signs? First things first, always acknowledge the sign. I see you. I feel that. I heard that. Acknowledge it. It's like solidifying that energy, and it makes you realize that you're not crazy. It's like, oh yeah, I saw that. cementing it in. Next, say thank you. Have gratitude for having the sensitivity to figure it out, for being grounded enough to see it, for being connected enough to have spirit speak out so clearly to you, right? Say thank you. Have that gratitude. Like, thanks, spirit. You got me. And don't question it to death. I mean, it could have been like, why are they showing this to me? Why don't they show it to me when I want it? Why is it always so random? No. What it could have, should have will destroy you. Overthinking it will destroy you. Don't think it. Feel it, right? Use your body as a sensitivity to feel it out. Let it be real, because it is. Don't question yourself. It's hard enough that people already say that's not true to you and your abilities. Don't be that person to yourself. You got to be your own biggest cheerleader, because nobody else is going to cheer you on how you can cheer you on. Except for me. I got you. Every time you recognize a sign, you strengthen that channel, and the signs will keep coming back. Trust me on this. That's why I always want to tell you, acknowledge it, say it, write it down, put it somewhere. Make a validation journal or book that you have all of these beautiful validations. So the next time you think you're crazy or you're weak or you're not good enough or whatever your monkey mind is saying, you can look at this and be like, wait a minute, I did this, I saw this, I felt that, this happened. I'm a badass. Because you are. This is like spirit's muscle memory. You're training yourself to see it more. You're like, yeah. So pump it up. So stupid. Sorry. Let's end this with a nice little mini grounding exercise. Relax yourself. Focus on your breath. Always focus on your breath. Your breath grounds you instantly. Feeling your body will ground you instantly. Now let's visualize. Visualize a beautiful golden, warm sunlight surrounding you. Just imagine it just really embracing you and, encapsulating all of your beautiful energy. And as you're focusing on this beautiful golden sunlight associated to the actual sun that we see every day, and just know that you can tap into the sunlight anytime. You really can. All you have to do is go out when the sun is out and feel that warmth and ask the sun's energy to ground you. Because guess what? We are physical beings. Look at this. The skin suit, and we live on a physical place. So we gotta connect to the physicality of this world, because when we don't have our body anymore, it's harder to connect. Our dead loved ones are like, hey, I want my body. I want to do body things too. You have a body. Do the body things. So let's do the body things. Ground, physically feel things like the sun's warmth. You're gonna miss that when you don't have your beautiful body anymore. So visualize that sun from your chest, from your heart space, opening up, and just sitting in this space. Let the sun's energy ground you, and then say thank you. Thank you, sun. Thank you, body. Thank you, spirit. And go about your day. You can do this anytime. Some people like to do a little triangle, like go wee to the sun, just to get this. I don't know why it's a triangle, but they do the little triangle thing. They're like, near third eye maybe. I'm thinking like the least sign, but it's not. I swear it's a spiritual sign. It's like bringing the light into this cute little space here. Do what you feel called to do. Always. I'm just suggesting things. Spirit communication is a sacred exchange. It's not an invasion. Allow it in. And you are always in charge of your own energy. Trust. Nobody can control you. It's when you give up or you just don't care anymore that can come in. That unwanted energy or negative energy, whatever you want to call it. But until then, if you're positive, strong, feeling good, nothing's going to touch you. You're your own bouncer. And remember that healthy boundaries keep love flowing both ways. It's good to have boundaries. Keep those. Be open to spirit. And when you feel them, remember that you're never alone, because you're not. You are constantly being haunted. We all are. Remember that you are always guided. The connection continues long after the last heartbeat. It really does. If any of these signs really spoke to you, this is presence. This is real. Embrace it. The dead are not gone. They just speak differently now, or we hear them differently. And the more you listen, the louder that your love becomes. If this moves something inside of you, please join my free community, Spirit Connection Made Easy, where I teach you how you can connect to spirit easy in a fun way free, absolutely free. It's for you to start to remember how to trust your own spirit connection. That's my goal. The link is down below. I would love to see you there. You'll find support, clarity, and friends who just get it. You're supported, you are guided, and you are part of something that is eternal. Spirit is calling. Will you answer the call? Ding!